What is up, everyone? Welcome to today's News Tonight, episode 75. I'm your host for this episode, obviously, Steve Bowling. As you can see, I'm joined by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Ash Paulson in the upper left, Derrick Bittner in the upper right, me down on bottom. It's a Friday ritual at this point. But before we get into the news, which we have a lot to discuss, and I'm glad to be able to say we're welcoming all our patrons for this episode. So, hi.
Yes.
Hi. It's nice to see so many new faces in the crowd tonight. But before we do that, we do have a sponsor for this episode, and that is our good friend Straightlace and his game, The Soul Device. So for those of you that do not know, The Soul Device is now free to play, meaning you can just go to Steam and pick it up. And I highly recommend it because why not support someone when they're giving you something for free anyway, but also somebody who shows GVG so much love and support. And here's what they have to say about their game. The Soul Device is a puzzle platformer built on the concept of making your own platforms to solve puzzles and explore the environment, consuming the player's HP in the process. There are many rooms to explore and several abilities for the player to unlock, and as of last Friday, the Soul Device is now free on Steam for anyone to pick up. If you decide to play it, the developer Straightlace would love to hear any honest feedback you have, as a sequel is currently in development, and Straightlace wants to improve upon anything the first game may falter in. Straightlace also wants to thank those who supported the game up until now, as your support has helped it reach this point. There is a link to Straightlace's YouTube channel going up in the chat here shortly. If you're watching the VOD version later on, it'll be in the description down below. Thanks as always to Straightlace for supporting this show. We really could not make this happen without you, and the Soul Device, it's free. Go to Steam, go get it. We'll have a link to that in the description.
And we have a little bit more new information about the Soul Device. It was sent over by Straightlace very shortly before the show. So just in case you're curious to find out more about what the game's about, the player can create temporary platforms by shooting projectiles onto walls at the cost of HP to explore a Metroidvania-style environment. The game features several abilities to unlock, areas to explore, and useful collectibles to pick up. And just as a reminder, of course, it is available now for free on Steam. So please check out our good friend Straightlace's The Soul Device. And again, there are links in both in the chat and in the VOD version, for those of you watching the VOD version, below in the description.
Yeah, I don't know if we posted in the chat, actually, so let me do that real quick.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm normally the one that does that, but my computer was on fire.
Yeah, no worries.
It's cool.
I also do want to mention, because we haven't talked about this in a while, Straightlace is a longtime supporter of the channel. He actually coded in the ability to pet a dog in the game based on the GVG community's feedback, which is great. So keep it coming. I definitely need to finish the game. I've started it, just haven't finished it, but I'll get there someday when I have time. if I ever have time. Before we hop into the news, guys, we both watched we all three of us watched the Resident Evil showcase yesterday, which feels like a lifetime ago already. But I know that, we were all pretty hyped. I know, Derrick, of course, you're over the moon about this. You're our top Resident Evil expert here at GVG. So before we dig too deep into it, I want to get your take first. How did you feel about that RE showcase?
Coming out of that, I felt like we're in for a really good time. I don't know how it's going to compare to 7, just because, Resident Evil has peaks and valleys when it comes to horror versus action. And, you have these excellent horror games like Resident Evil, 2. You have great action games like Resident Evil 4. And I don't think they've ever really found a perfect balance. Maybe Resident Evil 3, but I've never actually played that one. So it seems like they're always trying to find that perfect balance, and maybe they'll get it with 8. But everything I've seen from it, the characters you're coming across, the scenarios they're setting up, the extra mode with mercenaries, that's fantastic. That's great news to have that in there. Especially just the fact we have that in addition to the whole reverse thing. I think mercenaries is something traditional fans prefer way more, because Resident Evil multiplayer has not really ever worked out that well. So
right. Even with reverse, right? Even I know Steve tried reverse and he was like, maybe not.
Yeah. Reverse it's okay. It's okay. I would play it very casually. It would be a good, not fully paying attention kind of multiplayer game, where you don't feel bad if you lose, you don't feel great if you win. It's just there.
You throw it on, play it a few rounds. Maybe you stick with it if it clicks with you. If not, whatever.
Yeah. So Ash, how about you, man? What was your take on RE or on the RE showcase overall?
I thought it was pretty strong. I'm glad, unlike the Street Fighter showcase or Spring Update showcase, I'm glad there wasn't a whole segment dedicated to Zed's love of Resident Evil, or any musician's love of Resident Evil.
So
that was so weird. But no, I thought it was a strong showcase. I have been looking forward to Resident Evil Village. I've been liking the look of it, and the latest trailer we saw only reconfirms that. I think the return of Mercenaries is a great surprise, great news for fans of the series. The only thing I really didn't like is the needlessly, in my opinion, complicated demo rollout.
Oh, yeah.
Just the messaging surrounding that, the schedule, way overcomplicated. I realize Capcom wants to be protective of what they show and let people play prior to release, but I do think there is a less confusing way they could have done that.
I agree with that. I think that, as a PlayStation owner, all of us, right? I'm grateful.
Right.
I'm really glad to have a PlayStation now because it means I'll get the demo tomorrow. But I agree that when you need like a flow chart or a diagram to explain when things release, you maybe have complicated it too much. And I feel like Capcom. Yeah, I get that Capcom probably got paid a lot to roll it out this way. And sure. I can't blame them, right? Like if somebody said, "Hey, make a video for me, give me a video early and I'll give you $1 million," I'd be like, how early would you like it?
Exactly.
So I understand it, but yeah, it's as a fan, it's definitely annoying. And I feel bad for those folks that have an Xbox that have an arbitrary built-in waiting time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame.
The name also confused us because when they said 8 hours of Resident Evil demo, we all thought like it's an 8-hour demo, isn't it? Like that's basically enough to beat the game.
Yeah,
what are you doing? And then no, it's actually 8 hours time frame to play it, which really late at night. Not surprising if you're going to be playing, Resident Evil, so you kind of want it dark if you want to have the mood just right. But it is weird that it starts at 8 o'clock my time till
4 in the morning.
I think 4 in the morning my time. So. That's a little weird.
That'll definitely be a late night demo session for me. I absolutely want to play. Like when I was playing The Last of Us Part 2, which I did finally finish, by the way, like a week ago. I would only play it at night because, it's just one of those games you don't want to have, glare on your TV. You don't want to hear people doing things outside. It's The Last of Us, right? Same with Resident Evil. One thing I will say I was pleasantly surprised by was I know that Resident Evil doesn't have a great history when it comes to movies and animation and stuff, but Infinite Darkness looks pretty cool, and I have to say I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah. I like the supplemental stuff they showed, which usually is not a hit with me. But I have to say I came away much more positive on RE8 than I was going in. It looks like 100% a game that I will want to play through. I don't want to review it, but I definitely want to on my own time sit down and play through it. I will say that I'm looking forward to using like the PlayStation 3D audio headphones for a game like that. I think they'll really enhance the experience. Probably scare the ever-loving crap out of me, but I think
Resident Evil 2 sound design was amazing.
I really want to get the Pulse headphones for PS5. I'm still rocking the PS4 ones.
Did those work on the PS5? Because when I first plugged it in, it didn't seem to. Maybe I have to install the.
They work for me.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it because I would like that. The only problem is, here's the tricky part. If I use those, no sound goes to the recording device.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem.
I know. I was thinking about that today because I am playing a game on PS5 for a review, and I already had like 3 or 4 hours of footage, which is way too much already. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play with my headphones. And I was sitting there thinking, like, why can't Sony just let the audio be channeled through the headset and the TV so that folks like us can record audio? And I was like, and then when I thought about it logically, I'm like, that is such a niche request. Yeah, like nobody, it is a content creator only problem, and Sony's probably like, yeah, whatever.
But there's more and more content creators getting out there, all the streamers and whatnot.
Oh no, I agree. There are some weird things about Sony's firmware that just are frustrating. Like for instance, now that the two of you have PS5s, you can probably lament with me on this, but when you turn on the TV by default, if your TV was set to your PS5's input, the PS5 turns on. So if the last thing you did was play PS5 and you turn your TV on to watch Netflix or something else, your PS5's like, oh, hey, I'm hijacking everything. You're going to have to turn me off before you can do what you wanted to do. And with the Xbox, you can actually tell it like, hey, when I turn the TV on, please don't turn on the Xbox. But when I turn the Xbox on, please turn on the TV. And I just love the granularity that Microsoft gives you. I'm like, how hard would it be, Sony? Just copy them. Just copy them.
It's funny because the TV I have my PS5 hooked up to, I only use for gaming. So I always just turn on the PS5 first anyway. So I've never encountered that problem.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, we watch Netflix in here and you know, you guys were talking about I always want to say Captain Falcon. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Although Captain
okay, so
Falcon
you could hear us. I'm so glad I didn't spoil anything. Good.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty well caught up. I just need to see this latest episode, and
that's the thing we didn't want to spoil because this latest episode is fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. I was in the middle of rebooting, so I'm good.
Okay, good.
But we watched
so good.
We watched Disney Plus and everything in here. I'm gonna watch Mortal Kombat in here when we get down to discussing that. And so just every time I want to watch, I have to remember my remote, which I happen to have handy. Oh, come on, focus, whatever. It has a Netflix button, and that's the only way I can avoid turning on my PlayStation 5. Because invariably, whenever I set my TV off, the last thing I did was play PS5 on it. But yeah, it's first world problems galore. Anyway,
right.
We have got a bunch of news to cover and not a lot of time left to do it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw up our first story on screen. And this one comes to us courtesy of Source Gaming. This is another Sakurai Famitsu column in which he discusses the Fighters Pass 2. And he reaffirms essentially that Fighters Pass 2 is the end of DLC, or at least DLC characters for Smash Ultimate, which he said that before, but I think, you know, folks like Ash were kind of holding out hope that we would get one more round of DLC fighters. And while I understand that, I think that, you know, it's all right. You know, he reaffirms like, hey,
sure,
all fighters have already been decided. Also, these are the last, you know, basically the exact quote is, firstly, the contents of these 6 DLC sets has already been decided. Secondly, there are no plans to make more beyond this. In other words, after we finish putting all of our effort into these, work on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will finally be finished, which good for Sakurai because
good for
him. Right, absolutely. And he also points out that this, you know, it's going to mark the end of an 8-year development period when you factor in Smash 4 as well, Smash 3DS and Smash Wii U. So,
right.
Really, I mean, it's the end of a long, long road for Sakurai. And of course, selfishly, I want this game to keep going. Obviously. But, I mean, you know, as Sakurai also points out in this article, you know, when working on Smash, he's unable to pick up any other projects. And of course, he wants to be able to do his own stuff. And we've seen how fantastic that can be when he's allowed to kind of create his own ideas, like Kid Icarus Uprising, Meteos, stuff like that. So it sucks, and I still hope that something happens, but I'm not expecting it. And, you know, again, I have so much respect for this man and what he and his team have brought to this game. If this is the end, it's been an incredible journey, and I couldn't possibly ever complain. Right?
We finish up all the Smash DLC, and the next thing he makes is a Meteos 99.
Right? Oh man.
You know,
he also says again, he can't say definitively that Smash won't continue on as it's already lasted this long, but that the next game likely won't have as much content as Ultimate does. There will very likely be less characters. So to enjoy it, enjoy this while we have it. And he said that many times before, and I think it does bear repeating. There isn't going to be another Ultimate. So I think that's one reason the end of development hits so hard in particular for this game, is that we know this is never going to happen again. And probably in the history of the series ever, at least based on what Sakurai said, there's never going to be another game like Ultimate. The next game will probably be a scaled down reboot of some sort. Whatever it is, it's not going to have 85 plus characters pulling from all these incredible third parties. So enjoy it while we have it. And I sure have been thankful for the whole Smash Ultimate experience.
Yeah.
And thankfully it's not over yet.
Yeah, and we can always ask for more, you know, even reasonable things that, you know, for Ultimate that, you know, we'd love to see, such as, you know, more Echo Fighters. That'd be pretty simple. Like give Pac-Man a bow, Miss Pac-Man, boom, we get another character
right
that people would enjoy, or get the other levels that we didn't have from before, put those in there somehow. That sort of stuff that puts in the Ultimate, really does make it the Ultimate experience. Smash Run would be another big thing.
Smash Run would be nice.
Even beyond, I think Smash Run actually would be the real perfect capper to content in Smash.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. As long as it was not every player wasn't in their own instance, like there was in the 3DS version, and everybody could actually interact on the same board. I think that would be the ideal way to implement it.
Like,
Steve, I think it was you that brought up one time that you could maybe see them adding maybe, not another pass, but maybe here and there, like as part of a direct, like, oh, hey, here's a one bespoke new character or something coming to Smash. Like maybe we'll get once in a while updates following Fighters Pass Volume 2, but of course this is the last season pass.
Yeah, the optimist in me says that Nintendo is going to realize that, a new direction for Smash is going to take more time than they think. Like they're going to have to retool Smash in general to come out with something. They have to go with a radical departure from what the current formula has been, because we've kind of reached the apex of what the original Smash design is at this point. This is still very much rooted in the original Smash Brothers, mechanically, right? It Mario still has a lot of moves that he had in OG Smash. Same goes for Link. Same goes for all those core characters. And I think what could happen is we could have a Splatoon 2 type of scenario where Nintendo goes, it's up, we're done, we're out. And then, they realize like, oh man, we really have to go back to the drawing board with Smash, and we're going to need time. We need to keep the fans interested while we figure out what's next. And, what easier way than crank out a character, right? Like, oh, hey, we're going to drop
it's also one of those things, a perfect way to advertise a new Nintendo character. Furcaw was talking about new IPs. Boom, put that IP in Smash, give them a little bit of advertisements, and Smash fans will like, well, I'm getting intrigued now. I'm curious. This is a cool moveset. I want to check out this new character.
Yep. And as Horizon Brave points out, it's not even the optimist that you need to channel. You just need to remember Nintendo is a company that loves some free money. And that's the thing, is that no matter what they do with Smash Ultimate, if they do decide to do more content, they know going in that it's a cash cow. They can just conjure up a new character from wherever it is, first party, third party, whatever, or a stage pack or whatever. They can just basically say, we want money, let's make a Smash stage pack or a costume pack or whatever, and it's going to make money. And it's easy. And not easy to develop, but it's easy to conclude that it'll make money.
I would bet good money, too, that when this is all done, we'll see a new retail SKU that's just the ultimate edition of Smash.
I could see that.
Or something. Oh, yeah. It just has all the DLC on the card already or something. But yeah, I think that I'm honestly really excited for what the future of Smash is in a post-Ultimate world. Like, where do we go from here? And I keep fantasizing about like a Power Stone-esque kind of Smash game, like a fully 3D Smash. And I think that would be really cool. I think you'll still have your audience that wants that kind of side view 2D-ish Smash experience. But I could see Nintendo just, rewriting the whole playbook on the franchise and, taking it back.
Do you think Nintendo would ever work with Capcom and do it like a traditional Nintendo versus Capcom?
I want that so much.
I think it before Smash Ultimate, I would have said no. I think in a post Smash Ultimate world, I mean, why not? Ryu and Mario have already crossed fists, crossed paths, whatever. They've already fought. Ryu has roundhouse kicked Mario in the face. So past that point, you can't really these brands don't fit together argument doesn't hold water anymore. So I would love to see a Nintendo cross Capcom game, something that has just the chops that Capcom brings to the table from a 2D fighter perspective with the characters we love from it. Like, man, I think about Samus having like her version of her Smash, her final Smash where she shoots.
I mean, just kind of imagine beam, Iron Man.
Iron Man, Cyclops, Ryu. Like, they could. There's definitely work for that. I think that. Oh man, I want that now. That's going to eat away at my brain now. It would work so well.
Squire makes a great point. Says, Ash, well, I've tempered my expectation for Sora. Him coming in for update 13.0 would be a hilarious coincidence. That would be perfect. That's the only way that could even better than Sora making it all. Yeah, Sora 13.0. That is perfect. But I too have tempered my expectations. I'm not ready to completely give up the dream. Like, I think it's like a 1% chance, but I've certainly tempered my hopes for Sora for sure.
Yeah. I agree. All right. So anyway, talking about things from Nintendo that are coming to an end, let's go ahead and get our next story up on screen here. And this one comes from AK Family Home on Twitter. And basically, they noticed that the official North American site for Nintendo Labo at labo.nintendo.com is just gone. It redirects to the Labo VR Kit, and that is all. Which, I mean, kind of spells the end of Labo, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
I think so. I mean, yeah.
I'm not surprised. I really am not. I think that Labo was one of those things that I applaud the ingenuity. It was really cool. Mm-hmm. I built a Labo kit. I built a couple Labo kits, and I like them. I think that they are remarkably innovative. You know, they make good use of the Switch's unique technology, but ultimately they're $80 boxes of cardboard, and that is really hard to justify, especially like I feel like Nintendo didn't know who the audience was. I'm a dork, and I love dorky, cool, nerdy stuff like that, but I also have kids, and I feel like it was kind of marketed toward kids, but kids are going to destroy these things, like, quickly.
Oh, yeah.
My kids did. One of my, let's see, my Labo piano, my daughter barfed into, and and my my Labo VR set, my wife found and was just like, what is this garbage? And just threw it away.
No, the VR one. That's terrible.
No. Yeah.
So what you're saying, Steve, is that your daughter was trying to lay down some sick beats?
Yes, exactly.
Nice. I applaud that effort. Very nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's a shame of all the ones that your wife could have thrown away that it was the VR kit. Because at least for me, that was always my favorite. I've also built a few VR kits. People who have been with us for a long time will remember the 8+ hour stream in which I built Labo back in GX. Like, in my hands still haven't quite recovered. I still feel the cardboard scars. But yeah, the VR kit was my favorite, and it's too bad that's the one she happened to find and throw out.
I think that's the thing, is they took forever to put together, because and then where the heck do you store them? Like the robot kit, the toy robo thing that you would do. And it's
like it's a huge backpack with other stuff, and it's flimsy,
strings everywhere that you don't want to get tangled.
Yeah, I think Nintendo didn't think this product fully through. Like, it is a really cool idea. I would have loved it if these were just made of plastic, damn it. Like, yeah. I respect that they're made of cardboard. I respect that they are something, the process of folding them. But when you're in hour 4 of folding cardboard and putting stickers on things and aligning Joy-Con just right, you're like, I don't care anymore. I just want it to work.
I think that's why. How long did Labo VR take to put together? Like hour tops. I've never bought a single Labo because I'm like, I do not have the space. I do not have the interest. It's just not for me.
I'd say the VR kit took my wife and I about, I don't know, 2.5 hours maybe to put together. 2 hours. Wow. Yeah, and it wasn't like super long. It wasn't super. If I remember correctly, we put it together, obviously quite a while ago. But, Steve, as you were saying, I think the real value of Labo, despite maybe its mismarketing or Nintendo not really knowing what its audience was just the sheer ingenuity. And as Petit says in the chat, the dev kit included with the VR kit is so open-ended and un-Nintendo. And that's, I think, the real shame here in losing Labo is that, especially with the VR kit and the fact that you could essentially code your own games, that is very un-Nintendo-like. And I don't know if we'll ever see something like ever. That's a long time, obviously, but I don't know when the next time we'll see something quite like that from Nintendo will be. And it was very unlike them to, again, include something so open-ended for their consumers.
Yeah, I think it really showed that Nintendo still has that kind of spark of weirdness and genius within the company, and I love to see it. It's just, it was kind of an ill-conceived product. It should have been, honestly, they should have found a way to reduce the price dramatically for it and simplify the build process. Just because, expecting someone to spend 3.5-4 hours on cardboard that you are then always going to be stressed out about how to store is
and keeping kids interested for that long.
Oh yeah, I have a perfect story about that. So I have never bought a Labo kit. I was with Nintendo Life at the time, and they sent me the Labo kit knowing that I had daughters, and they were like, hey, this would be great, like if you want to build it with your kid and maybe you can write an article about your experience. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. So it came in, I picked up my daughter from school, we went to the dining room table, we sat down, opened it, and I was like, hey, we're gonna make a piano. Ironically, the piano the same daughter later barfed into. And she was like,
She
"Oh
did
my
not like that
gosh."
experience.
You know, they do the little teaser. They show you what it's going to be when it's done. She's watching it with me. I'm like, "Yeah, we just got to make this." And it's about 2 hours till bedtime. We get 30 minutes in, and she looks at me and she's like, "Daddy, just come get me when it's done." I'm going to go watch TV. I was like, "Okay." It was heartbreaking, but she was also totally right to do that. I was like,
"Oh yeah,
this is not fun."
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? Labo was cool. I think it was a great experiment, a worthy thing to try, but just I don't think the market was there for it. I don't think there was a right way to market
just a
what they
little
put
too
out
there.
Yeah, just a little bit. That said, please make a WarioWare. I will buy that. Please continue to be weird, Nintendo. You're good at it.
Yeah.
And 99% of the time it's a hit.
WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven. I kind of want
it's accessories that gets tricky.
Yep.
Yeah,
weird accessories don't always work.
Yeah, WarioWare, Rhythm Heaven, and since Miitopia is getting a Switch port, I'd like to see an HD version of Tomodachi Life. I enjoyed that game. It was kind of weird and different, and like you guys are saying, I like when Nintendo does weird and different. So hopefully we get 1, 2, or all 3 of those things.
I want another game like Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, where you can
that was
haggle on the price of the actual game. Like, you could just be like, "No, I don't want to pay that," and he'll eventually be like, "All right, dude, I'll just give me $1. It's fine." Like, I want Nintendo to feel the way I feel when I'm selling things. Like, yeah, just come on, leave me alone. If you stop talking, I'll sell it
just
to you for
take.
less. I'll give you a good deal if you just say yes. God, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of good deals, I've got something that I think Derrick's going to be super excited about coming up next.
I'm so happy.
Hell yes, I'm hyped too.
And I will be the first to admit I'm a bad fan. I have not watched this yet, but Castlevania is getting a fourth and final season on Netflix. And apparently they are also looking to create a new series contained within the Castlevania universe. So Derrick, I'm going to throw this to you because I know you have feels about this. So tell me what's up with this.
Well, first of all, I didn't actually until we gathered the news. I didn't realize that we got a release date or that it would be the last season. So I saw this like,
Same.
Oh, that's interesting. And hey, May 13th, that's pretty soon. We're coming towards the midpoint of April, basically a month. That's perfect for me waiting after Falcon and Winter Soldier and waiting till Loki to get this content in. I am totally down, and I'm actually kind of okay with it being the final season, especially with them saying that there's possibilities for more, other seasons, and getting, because that's kind of what we've always wanted. I've actually been surprised how long they've kept with the Trevor storyline. And they kind of worked in Curse of Darkness, which is smart if you want to keep Trevor in the eyes, since that's what everybody's familiar with. But this is the perfect way to get other Castlevania stuff in there if they can keep this sort of look and just vibe and have almost same continuity. It's just a different cast. That's how we get Richter. That's how we get Simon. That's how we get way into the future and really carry through this Castlevania series and sort of adapt them and really make it something. And I saw somebody in the comments to, I think, this Deadline article is like, make it like JoJo. Like, yes, make it like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Have each one be its own thing and just keep it going. It is the perfect adaptation. Give each one 2 or 3 seasons. Keep it going for a while. Hopefully, we get more and more as we go through. But there is so many good ideas with this, and I think if they want to keep doing that, and if they successfully get that from Netflix, they needed. I think this season sort of needs to establish Dracula's resurrection, or at least kind of set it up, because Dracula isn't quite the villain anymore. It's Camilla, and whatever Isaac's up to, it's a little different there. But I'm so excited for it.
I am both okay and not okay with it being the final season. Like you, Derrick, I didn't know it was going to be the final season. I didn't know we had a date until we got it today. And I'm so excited, right? Because I have loved this show. I'm a huge fan of the Castlevania show. And I just love Castlevania in general. My wife and I have been watching it together. We love it. And we always prefer for shows to go out on their own terms and not just be forced to continue and stretch out plot lines. That's a good thing. On the other hand, I found season 3 to be the relative low point of the show, or at least part of season 3. and that's mainly the Alucard. What happened with Alucard in season 3? He didn't get a whole lot to do in season 3, and I kind of felt like his story didn't really go enough places for me personally, and so I do wish we had a little more than one more season just to see more of him and have him kind of catch back up and get to do more.
I don't think he's gone for good because, again, if you think he's not going to, they're not going to add that Richter into Alucard, is totally going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
We are getting that stuff, and especially because you can totally make have that connection with Maria, because honestly, one of the big losses for having this section of Castlevania end is Sypha, which they've done amazing things with Sypha's character.
I love this version of Sypha so much.
She's
perfect
the
in
most
this show.
personality she's ever had.
Yeah,
ever.
It's great. Yeah, and the way that she and Trevor play off each other, they're such appealing versions of these characters. And so even if I am sad to see it ending, I am certainly going to be there for all of season 4. I've watched all of it so far. I'm going to see it through to the end. And, I certainly trust this team and this studio with a sequel series. And, again, I think when this was all announced, we were all like, Konami is going to, they're going to sign off on a Castlevania anime for Netflix. This is going to be a disaster. And it wasn't. It was fantastic. So I'm excited to see what, if anything, they have planned for, beyond this particular series.
From hearing y'all talk, I have got to watch this.
Dude, you need to watch really this show.
It is so different from what you'd expect from a Castlevania show. It's not just Trevor going through the castle and beating up things. They go in a very different way while still capturing sort of the spirit of it and things that the references they have. It is a fantastic show, and definitely M-rated. Like, they go
It's
hard.
Very dark, very gory.
Hey,
actually, Adam Davis just asked, how gory is it? Very. It's like, very.
I will
when Dracula unleashes his forces in season 1, here is your... I don't think it ever gets much worse than this, which is when Trevor first gets to the town and he sees one of the monsters just carry off a baby in his mouth.
Right. Right. I remember that. Yeah.
That always stuck with me. It's like, whew. It never quite goes beyond that. And it's not graphic. Like, I don't see it rip the baby apart. It's just a baby in the thing's
Evernight
mouth.
Studio in the chat. You see an eyeball get ripped out of a man's skull, kind of gory.
Yep.
All right.
You sure do.
Well, I guess I won't eat while I watch, but I'll watch. I mean, I'm pretty good with gore and anime. I'm interested to see it. All right. Now, hopefully, hold together, computer. I just need you for like 30 more minutes. But let me go ahead and get our next story. I'm out of clever segues. All right. So our next story is about, we're continuing on a piece of reporting from a previous episode. We've got some new details about Sonic the Card game. Apparently it's for 2 to 6 players, and you pick a character from Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, and Blaze. And you race through new levels. Here's a breakdown of the flow of the game from the, I don't know, do you call them card game developers, makers, creators? But either way, the folks behind the Sonic card game. Each time a new card is placed, they must decide whether to keep racing to try and grab a bigger pot of rings, or to retire and collect their share of the rings and bonus cards on the table. If players keep racing, they risk running into enemies and losing lives, but the chance to win more rings and bonus cards could be tempting enough to keep racing on. As you can see on the screen right now, the only image available for the game is the box itself, which I'm not going to lie, I don't really like.
It just uses stock renders of all the characters. Yeah. These are all renders we've seen before in various other Sonic
media. It feels like an intern was just told, like, yep, just throw some Sonic pictures on the box. It'll be fine. They'll buy whatever we throw at them. I don't know. I still don't have a feel for this game. I love Sonic. I like card games, even though they're very hard to play right now because having people over to your house is a just fundamentally bad idea. But I could see it being at least interesting enough, like have a few friends over, have a few drinks, whether the game is good or bad, it could probably still be funny.
See, I see this more as this is something to play with kids. This isn't this isn't Bloodborne, the game, or
Uh-huh.
all the other game adaptations that have gotten board games. In that sense, it's just sort of like, I think somebody compared it to Uno, which I kind of can see that it's literally just like, we'll risk it, we're getting rings. Okay, I'm going to stop, and then trying to prevent it. There's no real strategy. It's all random.
Joseph Bayer here is cracking me up. Do you have any damn kings? Go fish is how I imagine that going in my head. I want to say I care about this, but I don't. I love Sonic, but when I see this card game, I'd rather just go play Sonic Mania, I guess. Now, to be fair, or any Sonic video game. To be fair, though, I'm not really into card games, so I'm a bit biased here. But that description from Steamforged sounded so boring to me, and I'm just like, not for me, I guess. I hope it turns out well, and maybe card game lovers will like it, but I would be lying if I said I had any interest in this whatsoever.
I'm a little more enthusiastic, and that's only because when I think about the card games I do enjoy, if I had to write a paragraph to describe them, it'd sound boring. And so, I love
that's fair.
Sushi Go sounds boring on paper. I'm trying to think of other like.
I feel like friends have described board games to me in the past and be like, that sounds cool. So, but it's board games. I don't really play card games or deck. It's kind of surprising this isn't a deck building game.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a Sonic TCG could be really cool, but whatever. I mean,
I will say.
Oh, go ahead.
I appreciate that they're using Blaze here.
I was actually
Blaze is actually one of my favorite characters from the whole series, and I'm like, if they're gonna pick 6, I'm really surprised Blaze made the cut, but I'm glad she did, and that's cool.
Yeah, I feel like people like Blaze, but they don't really know what to do with her.
Right.
True.
Well, especially because they retconned her whole story in Sonic 06, which in like the worst way possible.
Yeah.
I still need to play that game. And by need, I mean am desperately avoiding. But, all right, so let's go ahead and move from one Sega property to another here with our next story. And I don't have a lot to say on this one. Basically, a rating for Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania has surfaced in Australia. But there's no real hint as to what platforms this game is coming on, if I remember correctly. So we just kind of know that there's a new Monkey Ball game coming, or possibly even just this might be the name for a remake.
Please let this just be Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2.
Yes,
combo.
Because there were rumors going around a while ago that they were remastering those games for modern platforms, and then those rumors just kind of disappeared. And I love Super Monkey Ball, and Monkey Ball 2 I think is still the best in the series. I think most people would probably agree. Banana Blitz HD came out in 2019. Banana Blitz is a fine game. It looks nice. It sounds great, but it's not really the peak of the series in terms of level design and gameplay. So I'm with you guys. I really hope Banana Mania is that set of remasters of 1 and 2, maybe with some new content as well that we've been hearing about. But
Super Monkey Ball 1 was one of my favorite experiences on the GameCube. I imported a GameCube and got Monkey Ball just because I was like, oh, there's like 3 games available, so I'll get Monkey Ball along with Wave Race and Luigi's Mansion. Why not? Got the full set. And I thought that Monkey Ball would just be like a throwaway game that I wasn't gonna love, but I just got it so I could say I bought every GameCube game at launch. And I ended up dumping hundreds of hours into that game. I love it.
It's such a good game.
So much.
It kicked my butt. I could never beat it. It was like I think I couldn't even beat normal. I was just terrible at it. Had fun.
It took me a while.
Terrible.
Yeah. It really, I think it came out at the right time because most folks were still just getting used to analog sticks on console games. We had the N64 generation, and then the GameCube one was what I would call the first modern analog stick that actually felt good, didn't blister your hands to use. And it made me appreciate like how sensitive a good analog stick could be, because you had to be very precise with Monkey Ball to not kill yourself constantly. And I mean, with Mario, you could just hold forward and just treat it like a D-pad for the most part.
You kind of get tricked because there's a few times playing Monkey Ball, Super Monkey Ball, that I feel like I'm actually controlling the ball and not the level. Because it's just, you just get that feeling. It's weird.
It really is. They did it's so subtle, like the environmental movement, that you can definitely trick your mind into thinking that you're just steering II or whoever around. And You have to remind yourself that you are not moving him at all. You're just moving the ground underneath his feet. And then then I feel like it becomes a little easier. I also love the mini games in Monkey Ball. Like
Monkey Fight. Monkey
Target. Yeah, Monkey Target was my jam. Yeah. Oh, man. If this came to Switch, I'd buy it day one. No doubt. If it came to anything, same. I'd buy it day one. I mean, as long as it was 1 and 2. If we're getting like a new Monkey Ball game, I'm going to need to see reviews first.
Yeah, I'm going to need to see some gameplay.
Yeah. I need someone I trust.
No, and another thing the Monkey Ball games do well, at least the first two, if you have like vertigo in real life or you just like have any sort of issue with heights, the sense of scale, like when you're teetering along those really thin ledges and you're just about to fall off, it can kind of give you like your stomach can drop a little bit. Yep. And like I don't even have vertigo. I'm fine with heights in real life, but even when I'm playing those games, I'm sometimes like, oh, I feel like my stomach's gonna drop.
So that's funny to me because I do have a slight fear of heights, and I never got that feeling from Monkey Ball. But I did get it from like when I was going over the waterfalls in Klonoa too, so I don't know.
Oh, fair enough. Azran outdoing themselves in the chat saying, when Monkey Ball went downhill, we went from who wants this game? Me, to who wants this game? I.
Oh, wow.
Man, that's really good. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. So, speaking of long dormant franchises, let's get our next story up on the screen. And this one's interesting. We reported previously on the fact that one of the key figures behind F-Zero, Takaya Imamura, was retiring from Nintendo, and we speculated on what that meant for the series. IGN, specifically Adam Banghurst over at IGN, had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Imamura, and he basically said that F-Zero isn't dead, but it's just hard to bring back, and the implication being that Nintendo doesn't really know what to do because they felt like F-Zero GX was the ultimate incarnation of the F-Zero franchise, which, all right. I feel like you've had enough time to...
Sure, so far.
That makes me terrified. Like, they're like, well, we put Smash Brothers Ultimate. Ultimate was right in the name. You never get another one again. Once we deem something ultimate, we're done with it forever. So I hope that F-Zero comes back. I'm honestly not the world's biggest fan of the franchise just because I don't know what it is about these super fast racing games, but
I'm terrible at them.
Exactly. I suck at these games, man. So I pick them up and I'm like, ooh, this would be really cool if I wasn't hitting shit every 5 seconds. But I love watching people that are good at them play them. I'm just not that person. So, I mean, it would definitely be something that I watched a lot on Twitch, but probably not a game I would pick up myself. I think that it is weird to say that F-Zero GX was like the ultimate. Like, you don't really, with racing games, I don't think you need to be as innovative as you do with other genres, you know?
And that's what kind of strikes me as odd every time we hear about F-Zero. Whether Nintendo always thinks they have to have some grand, as they said here, grand idea, some change, something to make it work. What is wrong with just taking what worked with F-Zero GX and making a new game?
For this series, 1080p / Switch Pro upscaled to 4K maybe, plus 60 FPS, that combination is innovating for F-Zero because, the ultimate F-Zero is still an SD game, and nothing wrong with standard definition, but times have changed, tech has moved on, and F-Zero, as beautiful as those games are, that's why I want to see an HD or Ultra HD F-Zero game. And I would play the hell out of a new F-Zero. I love arcade racers. I'm not necessarily that good at F-Zero, but I just enjoy the hell out of it. I love the settings of the tracks. I never really cared much about the extended or the universe stuff. Like Captain Falcon's cool. Samurai Goro's cool. I couldn't really name any other characters from that universe. I don't really care about the story, but just that gameplay and the track settings, the grungy futuristic vibe. I love F-Zero. Nintendo doesn't have anything else like it. And I get their love of innovation. That's fine. But it is at least a strong opinion of mine that innovation isn't a prerequisite to quality. Just make a really damn good F-Zero game that leans on what made F-Zero so great in the first place. I don't see the need for this big new twist or angle. And Derrick, I know you were saying the same thing. So,
I want to put something out into the universe in hopes that it happens. So I was thinking about games games that are too fast after we started talking here, like games that I have issues with. I'm not very good at Twitch-based shooters. I'm not good at, these super fast racing games. But you know what does help? Having a 120 hertz display to play them on. And
there you go.
They've been saying, if the rumors are true, the Switch Pro, or whatever they'll call it, which I hope is just the Super Switch. I really want it to be the Super Switch. But whatever this next iteration of the Switch is, people, are claiming it will do 4K 60 FPS, right? Or that it will be capable of that in certain titles. Now, if you do a little math, 4K 60 FPS is also from a bandwidth perspective, meaning how much data you can send through to the TV, the same as 1080p 120 FPS. And I would absolutely play the hell out of an F-Zero game that ran at 120 hertz at 1080p so that I could actually see what the hell was going on. I'm just saying, Nintendo, if you can do 4K 60, you can do 1080 120 to make it happen.
Well, and also, Nintendo doesn't even have to do it themselves. I mean, Sega were at least partially responsible for the development of F-Zero GX, if not completely responsible. And give it back to that team if that team is still able to come together and do that. I don't know.
I was about to say, that's a big
yeah, I mean, it's been a long time.
Amusement Vision is still around.
Yeah, Amusement Vision themselves, I don't think they are. But, if Nintendo doesn't feel like doing this in-house, there are other developers we could talk about here. And I know they're not always about farming they're very rarely about farming their franchises out to indie developers, but Sheenan, man, let Sheenan take a crack at this.
It's worth mentioning that Bandai Namco also has worked on F-Zero. You could.
Really?
Yeah, Pac-Man was in the arcade version.
Oh, right. I forgot. Yeah.
So you could hand it over to the people you trust with fucking Smash Brothers. I mean,
yeah.
If one developer outside of Nintendo has proven themselves, it's Bandai Namco.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Mach
saying.
5 Mike says a lot of the folks who worked on F-Zero GX are on the Yakuza dev team, so they're still around. But of course, they're Ryuga Gotoku, which I guess is taken.
I forget. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I forget who said this on Twitter, but I loved it. Yes, they are the Yakuza devs. Make Captain Falcon, put a Captain Falcon into a Yakuza-like game with racing.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? If I could play as Captain Falcon in a Yakuza-style game where he just beats the ever-loving tar out of people and then races, I'm like...
While doing platitudes like Kiryu, I feel like that it's a really good fit.
Yeah. I would play that.
Steve, are you sure that Pac-Man was an F-Zero AX? Because he was in Mario Kart Arcade GP.
I'm sorry. That's
Bandai
what I'm
Namco
thinking.
worked on that.
Okay, I was going to say,
okay.
Falcon.
Okay.
Oh, whatever. They trusted him with Mario Kart, which we know Nintendo values more than F-Zero anyway.
Right. Jenny G says Yakuza like a Falcon. I'd play it.
Yep.
I'd play it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. I don't have any kind of segue to this next story because it's just so weird. But it's definitely right up Ash's alley for sure. And maybe mine a little bit. Kinda. I don't know.
I'm only just now getting a chance to look at this.
Yeah,
so
let me throw this on screen real quick. And this is from Proto Dude's Rockman Corner. Making Mega Man Code Legend has been announced for North America, and it is apparently a game in which you get to program your own Mega Man game. I'm going to play the trailer because I haven't seen it, and I don't know how the hell you do it, but on the page, I'm scrolling for those of you that are viewing, there's like a weird attachment that you wear. And
it's almost like a new Power Glove.
It is a bit, and it's worth noting that this wasn't made in-house at Capcom. This is officially licensed by Capcom, but it was made by Artec Company, who I had never heard of before this. And it's cool. It's weird because, of course, I'm excited about a new Mega Man announcement, but it's not the Mega Man announcement or any of the Mega Man announcements that fans want. But it's still cool that they're doing it, right? And this was something that was released in Japan a little while ago under the name Make Rockman. And I think most of us just kind of assumed something so niche would never come to the US or to the West at all. But it is. And so that's just kind of cool that, Capcom has enough faith that this has a place at market outside of Japan that they're bothering to localize it. So the trailer doesn't do a thing for me. I'm not a coder. And I got to say, this looks a bit janky to me anyway. Even if I was a coder, it looks a little bit off-brand.
So when I hear that something lets you code your own game, I'm thinking it'll step you through actual development tools or actually like walk you through what someone would actually do if they were making a game. And this is definitely not that. This is like shades of Mario Maker that I'm seeing in this thing. And,
although our very good friend John Cartwright might love this, because the included Artec Robo 2.0 acts as a programmable gyro controller, calling all John Cartwrights. I feel like he might need this thing, man.
I like that folks saw my YouTube recommendations, and one is Scott the Waz, and the other is Lo-Fi Zelda. Yeah, I watch a lot of good things on YouTube, all right? And by the way, Scott's Virtual Boy episode is wonderful. Everyone should watch it. It's really funny. And for those of you that are wondering, we do have a cameo somewhere in this season. Even I don't know where it is, though. I've been watching every episode looking for it. Hasn't happened yet, but you'll see me with an old haircut in there at some point.
Classy Mudkit makes a good point. Not the Mega Man game with Legend in the title we all wanted. Not so much. Not so much.
Sorry, Derrick, you were about to say something.
No, it's just sort of like still blown away by the fact that they decided to make the Power Glove again.
Yeah. Really weird. I didn't like the thing where you slide a thing into the glove to give Mega Man a power-up either.
Me neither.
It feels a bit too toy-like. And Mega Man,
a bit gimmicky.
At least for me, is a game I take seriously because they're usually damn hard.
You're not going to be able to... You have to get really good at this thing to beat a Mega Man game with that, with those controls.
Well, and this is kind of adjacent to the whole point of it, but like... Yet again, the trailer draws primarily from Mega Man 2, and I just feel like that's just the go-to for anybody who's making a licensed Mega Man product. Anything, Mega Man 2 is just like the de facto what they go to. And
I mean, at least we got a charge shot.
That's true. We got Mega Man 4's charge or style of the charge shot. That's true. But yeah, I mean, this is cool, but it's not like it's just not for me. Yeah. Even as a huge Mega Man fan, it's just not for me.
I could have seen it if it was a more standard development tool, like it taught kids how to code for real. This is not that, not even remotely close. So I think if I wanted a make your own Mega Man kind of thing, I'd much rather see Mega Man Universe come to fruition, which looked kind of like it had your own stage building elements. That's how I want a low skill barrier.
I mean, I feel like fans have done it, but a Mega Man Maker makes more sense as well.
Yes.
That's right. Well, and that's the thing is Capcom kind of already did that themselves in Mega Man Powered Up. There was a level editor mode in that, and it was actually good. It was really good. And so they could totally make a game anchored around that. But, they tried, I guess, with Mega Man Universe. The concept never really made it that far. I don't know if it's because of the level building element that it didn't make it far, or if there were other problems in development, but I do think that there is a real place for a Mega Man Maker.
I agree. I agree. All right, one last story, and then we're done, and hopefully my computer lasts throughout. So let me get that up on screen. And it's kind of a feel-good story in a sense. I mean, not like the humanitarian sense or anything like that, but Mario Kart 8 is now the best-selling racing game in U.S. history, which is wild. So I'll just read the whole thing. Mario Kart 8 has reached a major milestone in the United States. According to the latest data from the NPD, it's now the best-selling racing genre video game in U.S. history. NPD doesn't indicate whether that information only includes the Switch version, but we'd assume the original Wii U title is lumped in as well. It's worth noting that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was the 6th best-selling game in the U.S. last month. Despite being a few years old, it still manages to place high on the charts regularly. Damn! I mean, every time people say we need Mario Kart 9, I have to look at those sales numbers and think, I mean, Nintendo probably doesn't agree. They're still probably very happy with Mario Kart 8's performance. And I can't blame them. Mario Kart 8 is a fantastic game, but I do understand the fan complaint. Like, it is now a very old game. I mean...
it's easy to forget how long ago it actually came out. I think because it's aged so well. It's still, all this time later, it's a very nice looking game. It's just, it's very pleasant to behold, and it doesn't feel like an old game, really. I mean,
when Nintendo sent out Switch Lite review units, they send them out with copies of Mario Kart 8 to highlight how good things look on the system. I mean, fair play. It still looks really good.
Squire points out a great point, or points out some Mario Kart Tour is taunting me with a superior roster in an inferior game, and that's kind of the thing. Is like as old as Mario Kart 8 doesn't feel, it definitely, you know, that same roster of tracks and characters certainly feels dated when you compare it to a much worse game, but with a much better selection of characters and costumes in Mario Kart Tour. And there are so many cool additions to the roster in Tour that I'd love to see in a mainline Mario Kart game. But nothing else for Mario Kart Tour should ever be anywhere close.
The whole driving backwards to the course, that's kind of cool.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But, yeah, Mario Kart Tour is a flaming turd of a game. I don't think any of us want to inherit, especially the controls. Good God. Don't give me gotcha elements in Mario Kart. Yeah, I'll play it enough to unlock them if you make them still unlockable through normal gameplay. I just, please, for the love of God, don't add, but I would love Luigi with like a sausage or a baguette or whatever the latest regional incarnation of Luigi is.
You know what's funny is Nintendo could totally get away with announcing new DLC specific to Deluxe. Like all this time later, they could totally get away with announcing a couple more packs.
It is shocking to me that they haven't.
Me too.
I mean, I have to wonder if maybe just they didn't have very good foresight on this and like hard coded an upper limit to how many things they could add to the game and it would require a significant rework or something. I don't know why they haven't. I mean, there's tens of millions of people with this game now, all of whom probably want at least just a new track. And I mean, if they announced, a season pass for 2021 for Mario Kart 8, 8 years after the game initially came out, I'd buy it. I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
I wouldn't even think about it. Of course I'd buy it. Yeah. And I mean, I don't really understand the rationale behind not doing something like that. And especially because it continues to sell so well. So if you think on top of the context, they can, that it was the 6th best selling game in the US last month, that's just more potential audience to buy your new DLC. So
I love ideas in the chat. I think it started with Joseph Bayer, Godslayer Bowser, and then everybody, of course, picked it up. Like, a level based off the I forget what the cat area is called in Bowser's Fury,
Lake
but
Lapcat.
Yeah, a Lake Lapcat track where like randomly Bowser, Giga Bowser will show up or whatever. I forget, Godslayer Bowser. I can't remember his legit name. Shows up and causes havoc and changes up the course. That'd be kind of cool and give me sort of vibes of Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Oh, what would be really cool? Like Godslayer Bowser or Fury Bowser, I think is the official name. And then Super Saiyan Cat Mario, like battle in the middle of the course. And you have to like drive up and down them and get back on track. Oh, I want that.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I want that.
Same.
Mario Kart 9, please eventually come, but I understand why you're not. But with that, I think we've covered all of the news for today. And
indeed,
man, I almost like instinctively was like, Ash, where can we find you? Right here. Right here. It's Friday. I'm tired. My computer's broken. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm non-functional. Anyway. Before we continue on, and as I pull up our EP squad list, because I'm not doing the same thing I did last time, we have to give an extra special thank you to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make this show happen. We truly could not do it without you. Your generosity means the world to us. We're so thankful for your support, and we can't wait in just a few minutes to tell you what's happening with the future of this channel. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of all that stuff, we have to give a huge thank you to our patrons at the executive producer tier, the EP squad, my friends. And those fine folks are Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Dan and Twistle, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Floating Mew, Aiko Carroll, Christopher, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Nick Waterman, Kitty Kong Facts, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotik, Macalau, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Azran127, Kenrule09, Jake Pelka, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Charlie Bird, Lucky Wonderfish, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Douglas Chomix, Andrew Medeiros, Orem M, Patrick Harrison, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Fizzywig Hoyd, Flaming Highwayman, Sean Garrett, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Masterlinks, Sean Davis, Denith, Jackson Jordan, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Ashish Joshi, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Hoobie, Wolf X Blake and Moon Macarons, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Synchro Lord, Brainchild, My Mom, Hi Mom, Scuff 196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Wheezy Penguin, and Anthony Wilson Jr. And remember, you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gbgaming, where you can watch today's news tonight live and get exclusive access to our post show for as little as $5 a month. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. And until next time, good night and good vibes. Have a good weekend,
Have a good weekend,
everyone.
everybody. Bye.